So I'm a yoga teacher in Vancouver, and I've been teaching for, well, I'll just say since 2011. And I lead teacher trainings under my own brand, and I also contract under another big brand in Canada. I lead a yoga teacher mentorship program, helping teachers make this career profession viable
Mhm.
financially for the most part. It's kind of classic for teachers to be struggling in that area. Yeah, that's kind of the quick and short
The
answer.
gist of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, moving to Vancouver was a big leap. I was
Mhm,
living in a smaller town where cost of living was like a third of what it is here.
mhm,
But I was really at a pivot point, I would say, in my career where I wanted to go all in.
mm,
And I had the accountability of higher cost of living to actually have to follow through with that.
yeah,
So I'd very much been DIYing it for years.
mhm,
And of course, I had education and training in business and a ton of training in yoga, and it had been good enough. But one thing I learned through going through a rough period with my mental health was just how sweeter and easier it is, like how much faster healing and recovery is when we have the right support and the right tools. I knew I was doing something risky that I wanted, badly.
mhm.
And I was not willing to continue to fumble along when
Yeah,
it could be more joyful and more easeful. It was kind of a no-brainer. Oh God, that retreat was so pivotal. We mapped out how I was actually going to start this mentorship program.
mhm,
And I remember sitting in the lounge with everyone and sort of spilling my big dreams and vision, and then like pretty much going into a freeze response. And I was like so overwhelmed and scared and just felt like, how the heck am I actually going to do this? The dream is so big, and I'm just one person. But what ended up happening is, like, very organically, it came together. The content has been built. I've By the end of the year, I will have worked with 17 yoga teachers and helping them develop their careers. So that was a big leap
yeah,
from like inception. It's just a dream, or well, I'd been working with people already, but in a pretty low key way. Whereas
mhm,
now there's like a program, there's support materials, there's like a sales page and the marketing behind it and clearer messaging and all that good stuff. So that became way more clear. I also launched, I would say, the biggest solo yoga retreat that I've ever hosted at a very high-end venue. So for sure, it's the highest ticket retreat I've ever launched. It's an international one. We're going to Mexico to somewhat of like a luxury resort. So it's definitely the most like elevated experience I've ever offered. And there was, again, a lot of fear around doing it. In addition to just like navigating my journey with boundaries and what I need in order to feel well, and mindset stuff
mm,
around, roadblocks and feeling like doubtful about my potential and all that stuff that's so human that we all face. So
yeah,
it's really been kind of twofold. There's been sort of like the strategic service offering, marketing, sales, that kind of piece, but then also a lot of the soulful aspect of your business, which is more
mhm.
like the inner work, which I'm so grateful there's a marriage of the two. I would say I have doubled my income. I think I can confidently say that. So
Are you
that's
working more?
No. No, I would say less. I've got better boundaries around my work. I actually
That's so
have
cool.
like 2 full days off a week. I
Mhm,
have evenings where I'm not working at all. I have flexibility around when I start. Like, I own my whole schedule basically.
mhm,
But before, without that structure, it was very spilly. It was just like all over the place. So I was very tired a lot of the time.
yeah,
No, so yeah, so I am working less. Yeah. So that's massive in terms of like quality of life. I've built a lot of assets, like intellectual assets, like training materials, workshop content, newsletters, sort of coming up with, I've like come up with a model of what the trajectory of a yoga teacher's career looks like,
Mhm.
which I've never seen anywhere, which helps give people a framework to understand like where they are at
Yeah.
in the realm of possibilities. So it feels really rewarding to be at the end of the year where I'm like, wow, I really have this sense that I've built myself based on over like a decade and a half of experience in the industry of resources and mapping of how to help people progress in their career and get where they want to go. One of the biggest outcomes I've had from this is the value of having a plan
Mhm.
and not constantly shooting from the hip. Like a lot of my strategy before was very like intuitively driven, which meant there wasn't always a lot of forethought. I would recommend it for folks who like aren't spring chickens in their field, like they've been at this for a while and they've done their best in the ways that they had in their back pockets
Yeah.
and they're ready for more stability, for more groundedness. I would say like more joy. Like
Yeah.
we're tired of the like, it's still hard work, but we're tired of the feeling of it being a grind and being so lonely. Yeah, you've done a really wonderful job of building a sense of community and togetherness where people feel held, myself included, from, our weekly check-ins on Mondays to set the tone for the week to, I get a ton of value out of your quarterly retreats and
Mhm.
planning to set the vision for the coming 3 months. So just this wonderful sense of structure, which for my personality works really, really well.